Nah, I don't want to work. So we kind of just got denied, and we're on the safety car. Right, okay, but J Horse is leading. Where's Mr. Cookie's last? What have I missed? Where's Life Bounce Out? What have I missed? Oh no, I'm so sorry. I've missed like the most interesting bit of this race. However, old rivalry back. That Sim Guy versus J Horse. Mercedes versus Ferrari. This has been like something we haven't seen in like a while. This is something we haven't seen in time. Either way, let's take a little look at... Mr. Cookie's made 3 stops now. Right, okay. Oh, Smithy's having an absolute wonder of a race so far. And yeah, all on equal size. J Horse, that's going to go 5 lap olds. Normal place, fresh, fresh. Quicker than Chaz Night. So Chaz Night Rider was what? P1 not a couple of laps ago. I'm not quite sure what I've missed because by the looks of it, it's amazing. The racing that's just happened, or chaotic to say the least. Either way, I've missed it. When do I not? I leave for not 2 minutes in this instance. Honestly. It's just my luck, honestly. Well, it's been a considerable amount of safety car, hasn't it? Safety car came out on about lap 13, no, lap 18, but it's been 2 safety cars, so that's kind of why. Tight as ever. Just how long is it going to be until the safety car comes in? Is it going to be another lap on the safety car? I can't see it being another lap. Especially considering J-Horse is backing off massively. Yeah, it's safety car in this lap. We will get running once again. Yeah, green and safety car. We are getting ready to get going once again. Drivers, J-Horse backing up the pack nicely here, just allowing the safety car to peel in. It's still got 2 corners to go, but all the drivers getting very, very close together, wiggling their tyres around, trying to get as much heat in as possible. J Horse now rounding the final corner, and he does get underway pretty quickly. He will be going quite quick into turn 1. I'm guessing it also just fits force of habit. It will just recognise his braking zone a little bit better. Just looking just slightly towards the back, and I mean there is Aeroblake going very, very quickly as a ghost. Maybe goes to a little bit too pow. Too good at the moment, and that is Never Fear Andy's here out of the session. He has retired, so big collision there from him. And what's happened to that Sim guy? Oh my god, he's hit the wall. Oh right, okay, so now J Horse 1.3 seconds, 1.2, completely in the way, completely out of the way of everybody else. Now closest tie, so is Aeroblake, who's a ghost. Not quite sure how a ghost can be P2, but okay. Smithy P3 is second back, and Jackalacco in P4. So Haas having a really strong race at the moment. Oh, off goes a Red Bull. SX Perry goes a little bit overkill on that corner. Just joining behind his teammate there. Not quite as far back as that Sim guy though. Though probably will be after the pit stop, although then that's some guy also, so maybe not. Aeroblake still currently P2. That will probably get taken off him because he's not actually there racing. Either way, to be honest, it's this midfield battle which is sort of where it's at. This massive group of cars here, someone's all to make a move sooner or later. So we'll just follow the Chaz Night Rider as he does have someone launch up the inside of him. That's Mr. Cookie going for a little move there. doesn't pull off in the end, but something happens, which I mean, just love to see. Oh, it's gone 3 wide. That's been a pretty decent essay for Mr. Cookie. It's then going to drop down to 2, and it's going to be Mr. Cookie. And no, it's not. It's going to just remain the exact same. So after going 3 wide there down the back straight, it's remained the same. Nothing has changed. Although I'm absolutely loving it. This Alfa Romeo sandwich is causing chaos, and I'm all here for it. A 13.5, the fastest lap now. By J Horse, going really, really strong as Rick goes and launches one up the inside of Jackalacco there. Can he get him on exit? Yes, he can. Maybe even Chaz Knight Rider wants to have a little look. Doesn't quite get it pulled off, though. He's going to have to wait until another couple of corners. And that is Chaz Knight Rider out! Something's happened there, hasn't it? I'm guessing a collision or something, and that has caused a neutralisation of the race. Here's another safety car. Oh, that was a bit loud. And yeah, that is just another safety car. Woo! Catching a bit. I don't really know what to say during safety cars, especially when you're by yourself. They get hella boring, man. Though this does give a good opportunity for that sim guy to catch up again. I mean, look how far back he is, plus 40 seconds. Good opportunity for him to catch up. That's what I was trying to say. Alrighty, so let's get going. Once again, it is lap 24 of 36, so not an awful long time to go in this race. We are well and truly over halfway now, and it will be J-Horse to start us off today. Either way, Smithy in P3 and Rick in P4, and it's a very, very good start for J-Horse, who've managed to get a great little break on Aeroblake there, and it's going to be chaos in the middle of the pack, as Rick's going to have to defend from Jackalacco, who's going to maybe launch him up the inside, but decides not to in the end. It is pretty open right now as we speak, although these two cars are going to go side by side around the long right-hander. Let's see who comes out of it alive. Mr. Cookie is going to have to switch to the high, and it's going to be very, very close between the two of them as they now run up the hill, still side by side, and eventually Mr. Cookie concedes the position after pretty much deciding, yeah, that's just a little bit too risky for my liking. Either way, it's going to be a bit of an interesting one because J-Horse has now got quite old hard, and oh, that's a mistake there from Rick that's going to push him off a couple of positions there. Maybe even Mr. Cookie might be able to capitalise on this mistake. Just behind as well, Almond Plays managing to get past Quick Killers. Oh no, not quite. He's still got a little bit of a way to go. The Haas still defending for his absolute life here. Doing an absolutely miraculous job of it. In fact, it's behind where it's getting a little bit more saucy. It's Armand, Quick Killers, and that Sim Guy all having a big bout. That Sim Guy gets pushed to the back of the grid there, and Quick Killers remain on top through all of that. Either way, it's pretty much everybody at the back here, which has been having a good, fun, scrap time. Because everybody else has been quite conformed, you know, distances have been made, and I say, like, quite close to the back. We're talking from P4 to P9 here. That's pretty much the whole grid. You know, it's 6 drivers of 10. So it's just that Sim Guy, Smithy, Aero, and J-Horse that are separated. Other than that, everybody's quite close together. Essex Perry, though, beginning to fall away, and we did say this, didn't we, that it was very possible that drivers were going to get DNF, and that is exactly what has happened here today. Either way, though, the Haas still holding on to these 2 Alfa Romeos, who are, well, usually, without a doubt, there's usually one of them that's off the racing line every corner, because they're just trying to find ways to get out, get open, and get past. None of them happy where they are at the moment, other than Jackalacco, who would, you know, much rather be a little bit further ahead. 2 Alfa Romeos looked like they were about to have a little go there, but Mr. Cookie not quite with the exit he needed to get it done. Still no moves being made. These drivers, they're so close together, and yet they just can't quite get a move done. And oh, as I say that, Jackalacco makes a big mistake there and has allowed both Alfa Romeos to get past. Due to that mistake there, he's going to have to do a lot of catching up, because these Alfa Romeos are going to pull away very, very quickly, unless he does much about it. You know, he's managed to keep his teammate, Smithy, pretty much out of a danger zone for quite a while here, but just how long is that going to last, I'm not too sure. Rick and Mr. Cookie have got words to be had, and I think they are going to go for them. Either way, I doubt the 2 Alfa Romeos are going to particularly fight that much. I can't see them really wanting to fight. I mean, in all honesty, why would they? They can push up together and definitely get some decent results. And that is Quick Killers out. What's happened there? He's retired in the pit lane by the looks of it, even though his car is going to then run through the pit lane, all through most of Sector 1 and then into Sector 2. It really does take its time before it decides to actually retire the car. Either way, Rick and Mr. Cookie have got some catching up to do. They're going to catch up to Smithy, because it's currently a 3-second gap i.e. enormous. Armand Plays, though, is sat right on the back of Jackalacco and expects a move to happen any moment now, especially with some medium tyres that are nearly 7 laps younger than the ones in the Haas. On top of that, that Sim guy right behind as well. And oh, there goes Aeroblake, and that has caused another... It's another safety car, and J-Horse... Oh, right, so J-Horse has missed the pit lane. J-Horse has missed the pit lane. How significant is that going to be? Because J-Horse didn't have enough time to do anything. Oh, that's going to be interesting, you know. I don't know whether J-Horse is going to make it round fast enough, especially considering the fact you know Smithy's going to push. You just know he's going to push because he wants to just degenerate that time as much as physically possible. So he might just be able to get past it, you know, unless J-Horse can keep the pace up under safety car. Whether he's allowed to push or not, I'm not too sure. So all eyes on J-Horse now, as pretty much everybody has decided to go in for a fresh set of soft tyres. J-Horse will have to do the same if he wants to stay in this race, and yes, he does come flying into the pits, but we'll just watch on board with Smithy. Is he going to make it out in time? It's going to be close. It's really going to be close. Off J-Horse goes. I know it might not be quite as close as I was expecting it to, because Smithy's only just coming around the corner now, and all of a sudden a gap that seemed like it was going to close really just hasn't. You know, J-Horse missing that actually hasn't been all that much of a penalty for him, but in fact it's made him even more time, if not pretty much the same. And Aeroblake just leaving the session there. Mr. Cookie finally coming into the pit lane for that fresh set of soft tyres. Everybody will be going on to ready for the restart of this safety car. It won't be a long safety car either, because it is getting close to the end of the race. So don't expect a particularly long safety car. I don't know whether it'll be in this lap per se, but give it just like another lap and that's going to be about it. No, it is going to be in this lap. They have elected that it is going to be in at the end of this very lap. So, J-Horse is going to get us going once again with Smithy right behind and Rick just behind that. Armand Blaze, who's had an absolute stinker of a race so far, is back up to P4. So he's looking in a really good position to get some good points here. J-Horse really holding up the pack for quite some time there. He is now away, and the pack was very condensed together when that happened. And in fact, Armand Blaze and Jackalacco are going to go side by side down into turn 1. Nearly that Sim guy makes it 3 wide, but it's going to be Armand Blaze that's going to get the better exits. He holds position as of right now. And there you go, Smithy just been overtaken by Rick there, and now under a lot of pressure from Armand Blaze as well. Let's see, can Armand Blaze get the better exit needed here to be able to get a move done? No. Safe and secure. Smithy still P3, is going to remain that way for now. Either way, J-Horse still under pressure from Rick. It's only 0.7 of a second yet. It's still not open as some may make it out to be, though it is now 0.8. It is progressively getting more open. As that Sim guy and Mr. Cookie just having a little battle there. Mr. Cookie just behind there, so Cherry a couple of seconds back. So it's still very, very tight here and just beginning to open out at the front of the grid. But still in the middle of the pack, it's still very, very busy and still very, very tight. Either way, J-Horse unsurprisingly going and setting the fastest lap with a 1:12.834, and all that's big moves by that sim guy there, who's managed to wrap it round the inside of Jackalacco, manages to get the better acceleration on exit there. So that sim guy moves up into P5. He's got another Haas just in front of him, and then the Red Bull of Arman. Whether he can get himself in front of them with just a couple of laps to go is to be decided. But it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Either way, considerably quietened down now after those first couple of corner shenanigans and that kind of first lap chaos. Everybody's kind of settled into place. J-Horse already built up a 1.6 second lead over the last sort of 30 seconds since we last checked up on that. Once again setting another fast lap of 1:12.523. It's not massively improved, but nevertheless still improved. DRS now open and enabled. The next one you'll see is through sector 2 to sector 3. Just the start of sector 3 there is towards the end of the DRS zone. And that is kind of their opportunity now to use DRS for lap 33, 40, 34, 35 and 36. We've still got quite a way to go in this race. You know, we've still got 4 laps to go, including the one we're on. So 3.5 now, really. I mean, it's not too distant, especially here. This is quite a close battle here. That sim guy, Smithy and Mr. Cookie. But then it's a little bit of a gap to Arman plays. But doesn't mean it's not impossible for anybody to get past. You know, Smithy isn't going to have DRS here, which has kept that sim guy very, very close to him. So expects possibly a move to be made as Smithy going really slowly through that corner there, notably. Now running up to the right-hander. Quite a lovely camera angle this. You really get a good grasp of where you're faster and where you're slower in each corner. J-Horse once again going even faster at a 12.471, and it's going to be that sim guy to go down the inside into turn 1 there on Smithy. Smithy having absolutely none of it though, but that could sacrifice him a little bit of time because Mr. Cookie could try and have a little go up the inside. He hasn't quite been able to pull it off, but he's now going to wrap himself around the outside here. Can he get a move done now? Yes, he can. It's slightly better on the acceleration by Mr. Cookie. Smithy losing a couple of positions in a couple of laps there, and oh, big bit of fighting there as well as the Hash tried to have a little go back, but Mr. Cookie still retaining that position. He'll be very happy with that. Either way, it is now probably really quieten down unless Mr. Cookie can sort of show good pace and keep up with that sim guy and possibly fight for that P4 position. It's not a podium, but it's still a solid result, especially for Alfa Romeo. Just get another driver into that top 4. Absolutely ideal from a constructor's standpoint, just to get a really, really good amount of points under their belt there. Rick as well in a really solid position, P2. And even though it's been a bit of a roller coaster of a race, it's been really solid for Arman, who's currently sat P3 after all of that. And considerably quieter out on track now. Nothing particularly gonna happen now. I can't see anything particularly happening. You know, just wait until the end of the race. To be honest, we'll watch Essex Perry versus Jackalacco because these two are still quite close together in comparison to really anybody else. I mean, there are still people within the second margin. It's just not really happening. Essex Perry got past there just for a second. but not quite enough to get a move done. And now, well and truly, all drivers onto the final lap, lap 36 of 36. It was kind of destined to be a bit more of an interesting race, and strangely enough, it didn't actually turn out like that. You know, that's one of the kind of sad things about it sometimes. You know, sometimes it sets itself up to be such a good race, it ends up being a bit quiet. You know, we've had 6 DNFs, and yet it just doesn't feel like an awful lot happened. And oh, just as I say that, something else happens. SX Perry hits the wall, unfortunately for him, and that's not what we wanted. So SX Perry will finish at the back, but we shall take a little look to the front, because it's the usual suspect out in front. It's a J-Horse for Ferrari who wins in Zandvoort, and it's going to be pretty close between these two drivers. It is just about Rick that wins it, that takes second place in the end, and Arman in P3, just a quarter of a second in the end there. That's Sim Guy in P4, Mr. Cookie in P5, and Jackalacco crashing straight into the side of that Rick there. Smithy in P7, and we'll just watch for SX Perry to come across in P8. So, congratulations to J-Horse, someone who's quite common to stand up on this top step. It's, you know, oh well. It's an impressive race from him. He has led for the vast majority of it. And congratulations to him and the Ferrari team for securing another win at Zandvoort. So, after all of that, J-Horse comes home with Ferrari to win here in Zandvoort with Rick in P2. Arman, with his debut, comes in P3, and that's Sim Guy P4. Mr. Cookie in P5, and Jackalacco in P6, with Smithy in P7 and SX Perry in P8. Era Blake P9, and by the way, SX Perry being the last finishing driver. Era Blake in P9 with Quick Killers P10, Chaz Knight Rider P11, and Never Be Randy's here P12. Lifebouts in P13 and Jimmy Jag in P14. Calf Jack P15, and that rounds out everybody. I thought there were 16 drivers, which is why, yeah, that didn't finish very nicely. But either way, it was a race of DNFs, wasn't it? So with that, I'm going to have to say goodnight tonight without having any interviews. Unfortunately, I just don't have the time. I've got to go and do some stuff before the end of the night. So unfortunately, I can't do any interviews today. But congratulations to the finishers. Anyway, to be honest, congratulations for finishing. It was a really tough race. And, you know, to have 8 of 15 drivers finish shows that massively, you know, just over half the drivers finishing. So congratulations for finishing, and congratulations to the podium drivers as well, being Arman, J-Horse and Rick. Other than that, I have been the Characteristics. You know, I can give you my 3-word race roundup. I did not finish. Either way, thank you all very much for watching, and good night.